In Zen, when they use the word mind, they don't usually mean simply what we mean today in sort of modern vernacular. We often think of it as, well, mind is thinking. Not when most Buddhists say mind. They don't mean just your, the rat trap chatting, that self-talk that we do, Talking when there's no one around. When you're the only one to listen to. And so, like Bonnke, I think most of us human beings are in the same sort of existential dilemma, which is we are all sort of conditioned. I suppose it's just unavoidable product of nature, of our maturing and growing up. But we all become completely mesmerized by whatever is occurring within our field of consciousness. Whatever we think, whatever we feel, our reactions to what's happening in the world around us, our reactions to our own reactions, our thoughts about our thinking, Spiritual people are great at having thoughts about their thinking. Mostly their thinking goes along those lines of, I shouldn't be thinking so much. All the time forgetting that itself is thinking. Right? There's nothing in the world that's going to tell you shouldn't be thinking so much except another thought. It might be yours, it might be somebody else's, but nonetheless, it's just a particular thought that arises, And we tend to reflexively, don't we, just automatically sort of ascribe reality to whatever we think and feel. So something happens, you feel a particular way about what happens, you can be upset by it, you can be overjoyed by it, you can be whatever, and we think if we feel upset that it's somehow there's an actual reality to it, in other words. If we think it's great, we think, oh, there's an actual reality to that. Not that feeling bad or feeling good, they're real in the sense that they happen. We experience them. In that sense, they're completely real, vivid aspects of experience. But they're all circumstantial. What drives one person crazy with upset makes another person dance with joy. Where's the reality in it, right? Is it worthy of dancing with joy, or is it only worthy of being upset about, And so our consciousness is always involved in this relationship with its environment. It could be what we call an internal environment, it could be what we call external environment, always eliciting feelings and experiences and thoughts about those feelings and thoughts about those experiences, and often looking for reality within that matrix. And even if we try not to, it's sort of almost a part of experience, how there's this natural sense of saying whatever we think, whatever we feel seems quite justified often, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? The more revved up you get, the more justified it feels. Like this is just a natural reaction to what's happening, And so we get led around by the content of our experience. Really, it's just the content of our consciousness, the shape that consciousness is taking at any particular moment. In this, even visually at this moment, what you're actually seeing, every color, every texture, every part of your visual environment is actually occurring within your mind. That's what you're seeing. What's actually out here? Who knows? Nobody actually knows. We don't really know what's out here. Our colors really, purple and pink and white and all these colors. Well, your mind makes them that way. It receives the data, it interprets it in your brain, It spits out a visual, and we're all thinking we're looking at this thing called this sort of objectively existing reality out here. Whether there is one or isn't one isn't really that important to me. What's important to me, at least for the moment, is that we think that it is the way that we see it. If you have a different seeing apparatus, if your brain interprets the incoming data in a different way, this is all going to look very different to you. Very, very different. In fact, who knows, everyone's wondering, gosh, I wonder if we ever get, contacted by an alien species. They could show up and they could be seeing things completely different than you're seeing them. That usually doesn't enter our mind, For everything that you see as white, who knows, they might see as orange. You never know. Or some other color that we've never even seen or imagined that it even exists. This is all taking place in even the visual interpretive element is taking place in our own mind, which is really pretty amazing. That's not even spirituality, by the way. That's just science, right? Science knows that this is the way we perceive the world. So again, it's sort of circumstantial. Circumstantial in the sense that depending on how our brain, our consciousness, our central nervous system is put together, we'll be interacting with our environment and creating the experience we have of it. Even the visual field, even what you see. Which is kind of a wild idea if you think about it for a moment.